What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, back at it with yet another review. And today we are continuing our Karate Kid review series. Of course, this is all building up to the Karate Kid Legends, and that will all climax in a big ranking I have planned. And today we are reviewing the final film before Karate Kid Legends, that of course being the Karate Kid 2010 remake. But before we get into actual beginning of the review itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe and be new to the channel because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, also may be able to YouTube algorithm recommend it to more people, and maybe they could join that. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on this film down below. But with that being said, guys, let's get into let's give a quick plot synopsis of the film, shall we? So transition and choose.
When his mother's career results in a move to China, 12-year-old Dre Parker finds that he is a stranger in a strange land. Though he knows a little karate, his fighting skills are no match for Chang, the school bully. Dre finds a friend in Mr. Han, a maintenance man, who is also a martial arts master. Mr. Han teaches Dre all about Kung Fu in the hope that Dre will be able to face down Chang and perhaps win the heart of a pretty classmate named Mei Ying.
Alright, so with the Karate Kid 2010 remake, this is actually the film of the franchise that I grew up with. I believe this is the only Karate Kid film I watched, like, a lot of times when I was younger. I didn't have any of the original films. So basically, this was my introduction to the Karate Kid. So going into this review, I will say probably I'll be a lot more positive on it than most people, possibly, just because I grew up with it. Well, with that being said, let's just get into the actual review itself, shall we? Alright, so starting off with the good here, I have Dre as the main protagonist, played by Jaden Smith. Now, I know a lot of people don't think Jaden Smith's a good actor, which, to be fair, I would say later on in his career, when he got a lot older, I agree. But in his roles like this, and
The Pursuit of Happiness, which in this, I think they do a good job of making him stand out and making him be still very likable and making him stand out compared to Daniel LaRusso, which I can't say about Julie from Next Karate Kid.
As well, I do think that Jackie Chan as Mr. Han is pretty good too. Pretty good character. Even though there's moments, I do admit, that he does feel very reminiscent of Miyagi. But still, then there's moments later on in the film, particularly with his, why don't we just bring that up right now, the dynamic between him and Dre, that I think, there's one particular scene in here with his backstory that I found really, really tragic. And, like, it's kind of a moment where him and Dre kind of connect. I thought that was a very powerful moment in this film for his character, and Jackie Chan was a fun new addition as well. So I'm excited to see him again in Karate Kid Legends, and hopefully he from what I've heard, he's not even in the movie that much. So hopefully he is in the movie a whole lot. As well, I think all the other side characters in here are decent too. You got the mom, you got the love interest for Dre. And I also think the villains are quite solid too. Where I think especially for the love plot he has in here, I think it's very
Cute in here where he goes to her music recital, then also she goes to his karate fight. So I thought that was very cute aspect of the film.
I as well do think that this film has some genuinely very funny moments still throughout this whole entire film that get a chuckle out of me. Mostly from Jaden Smith as Dre. He has most of the funny lines out of the whole entire film, with Mr. Han in there as well. That definitely gets a chuckle out of me every single time I rewatch this. So I think the comedy's solid in here. As well, I do think that this, even though, don't get me wrong, I love the first Karate Kid, that goes back and forth with a Goofy movie for my 10th favorite movie of all time, as I said many times in this review series. But this film, I think, out of the whole entire franchise, if we're just talking about the movies, has the best fight sequences in here. Where very much throughout the other films, they just save it for the end, usually, with that big karate tournament or whatever. In this one, they have karate fights kind of spread throughout all of the film. There's one scene in particular that's in the, I don't know where it specifically is, but it's outside with Jackie Chan where he's fighting all these bad kids, basically, where he's not even hurting them at all, and he's making them, like, punch each other in the face or whatever. I think that's a great sequence. And the karate fights in here as well, I think, are awesome near the end of the film. I honestly think it does top the original film for me. And I will admit it's a little bit unfair because this came out in 2010. This is the only film in the franchise that came out after the 90s and 80s. So it's a little unfair because it came out the most recent out of the franchise. But I still think the fight sequences are awesome in this. What else? I do think, as well, it's very well shot in here. There's one particular scene
with Dre training on the Great Wall of China that I think is really good. And then you also have the fight scene with all the kids in Mr. Han that I thought also was very well shot.
As well, do like the remake approach to this one where instead of a family moving to California, they move to China this time around. It's a brand new neighborhood, brand new people and everything. So I liked that approach to this film compared to the original film. That makes it at least different and stand out against that film. So I do enjoy that they decided to explore China, and as well, you get to explore a lot of its culture, China's culture and stuff that I found fascinating throughout the whole entire film. So, and going all through these famous China landmarks. So I always enjoy revisiting that for this film. That is the good done now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have any mixed aspects, but let's just go on to the bad, which I only have 3. First one is being way too similar to the original film. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think that it does enough where it does make it stand out compared to the original film, where it's not the same thing over again. But the story
is basically beat for beat as the original film with what our main character goes through. It's very, very similar to what Daniel goes through in that original film, but they tweak a few things here or there, but I just still thought it was too similar.
As well, in this film, this is probably like just a minor gripe, but it's just like, okay, but this film is called The Karate Kid, right? So you expect him to teach karate. No, he doesn't. Mr. Han doesn't. He teaches him Kung Fu instead, which I just thought was odd that they decided to do that with a movie titled The Karate Kid. I mean, it's literally in the title right there. So I thought that was a little bit odd rewatching this film, finding that out until recently. And as for the final bad of the film, I didn't realize how long this film was. Even though I've seen it a couple times, this is a very long film. I think it's like 2.5 hours last time I checked, which I thought was insane for a Karate Kid movie, where usually they're in the 1 hour and 30-minute range, or some close to 2 hours at least. This one's like 2.5 hours, which is absolutely crazy. So I do think, even though I do enjoy all the scenes you get in here, there's parts of me where I go like, we could have trimmed that out. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is just my thoughts on the Karate Kid 2010 remake. Now let's bring out the Toxic Meter. And I'm going to give this a Toxic Goodness. I think this is, for spoilers for my ranking coming out soon, I think this is probably my favorite out of the franchise besides the original. So this is probably my second favorite out of the franchise. Or unless the Karate Kid Legends is way more better than I'm expecting. But as I said, just my thoughts. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on this film down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.